Welcome back. You're listening to Business Podcasting Made Easy with me, Donna Cundy, and this wonderful co-host that we have this season, Ben Joya, the Word Man. And this is the number one global business talk and news network on the internet. That is how we do our live podcasting on internet radio. It's a kind of a neat concept. This is Business Growth Radio and episode 7. The biggest mistake podcasters make before they even touch the mic. Dun, dun, dun. Uh-oh. There's no suspense there. As we lay this one out and we kind of tease you a little bit more, we have a quote from Leonard Bernstein, however you want to say it. But he said, to achieve great things, 2 things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. And we were laughing at this one, Ben, weren't we? Because it does take some time to do the pre-work, to lay the foundations, to actually get the transformation done. But we know that you want to have transformation in your listeners. You don't want to just suck up air that other people could be using. You want the transformation to happen. And if at any time along the way you have questions and you want to reach out to either myself or to Ben directly, you can reach us at influencersformula.com. If you can't tell from our voice the passion that we have for this and for your voice to be heard in the world, just keep on listening, because we're going to convert you onto that idea, because we can't get enough of it, can we?
We absolutely cannot. Keep on listening, darn it. And
dang, nabbit.
Exactly. And as our friend Leonard did say, right, the great things coming from the plan and quite not enough time. So we're all about the plan, and we're also about, I wouldn't say not quite enough time, because we want to make sure that you have the right time and understand the parameters, but also to realize that being a 13-minute mentor, us being a 13-minute to you being a 13-minute mentor to other people, stuff happens in compressed spaces, which is a beautiful thing. And you can get many, many things done. I was chatting with a client and she said, I can't remember who she referenced, but a certain billionaire, what was your secret to success? And he said, chunks of work, 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. How do you make the transformation? 1 13-minute episode at a time.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
It really is. Yeah. And lurking underneath all of that, dun, 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 right, is not making the mistake that keeps you from being that person worth listening to.
Yeah.
Right. Because you could sit down and, map it all out and do all the things, but there's this foundational work that is so absolutely important.
Yeah. And I want to just have a few words in here. What we're getting ready to talk about are show notes. And Ben, I have a lot of podcasters on our station, a lot of show hosts that don't understand this concept of show notes. And this is the cornerstone. This isn't the foundation. This is the cornerstone of the transformation. The roadmap, yes, you need the roadmap. The 4 talking points, yes, you need the 4 talking points. You need good titles that resonate so people stop scrolling. But the show notes is where the transformation happens. It's this idea also of listening with the eyes. So your title first, they listen with their eyes, and then they want to just kind of see, is it worth for me to listen to your voice, to go deeper into this? And you want to make sure that you have thought it through enough to say yes, because the confusion with show notes is that you can just do a what do you call that when you transcript? That's the word. Not a script. It's always a scary thing. But you can transcript show notes, and a lot of podcasters do that. There's not the same transformation there as when you take the time before you get behind the mic to ensure that you're including the components that we're going to talk about. We're going to tell you exactly what to do, exactly what to use, exactly how to do it when you keep listening and keep taking these 13-minute chunks that we're doing with you, so that you can model it and do it in your network, with your listeners, with your tribe, with the people that you want to help with transformation. Because that's why we do this. That's why we put all this time in, right, Ben, for transformation.
100%. Yeah, it's such a critical thing. And it's so interesting, Donna, how transformation is so tied into being perceived as that expert, that authority, that thought leader, right? A great way to do it is a podcast. That's why we're doing it right here, right? Walking folks through the formula. And just listeners, heads up right now, if you want that help, just reach out to us at influencersformula.com. Again, influencersformula.com, right? Some people are great at going out on their own. Some people work much better with support. I'm one of those people. Donna, I know you like the support and the team adventure together. So yeah, folks, if we can help you, please do reach out to us today, and be happy to help you. Hello. happy to help you with your show notes. Right?
It's live here, guys.
We're saying bad words, right? But no, that the show notes are so important, because not only are the show notes helping you deliver the promise, right, bit by bit, giving your listeners the opportunity to listen with their eyes first, giving your listeners the opportunity to say yes to you, because that's the beginning of the influence process, right? As soon as people start saying yes to you, more people can say yes to you. So, Donna, I'm so glad that you have this plan, this method for the show notes, because it really supports literally influence and the influencers formula happening for people.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Ben, because again, it is a formula. It's 5 steps. If you think about 13 minutes and you have 5 steps, you're precisely talking about things for about 2.5 minutes. And if you have a lot more to say, what the show notes do is it allows you to point people to the notes so that they can get the rest of the information, because we have a lot in this particular episode that we probably won't get to talk all about. And so you can go to, for us, ibgr.network. ibgr.network is the website. When you scroll over to resources, you'll see a drop-down bar that says show notes. And then on the tab, they're hyperlinked to Business Podcasting Made Easy. You'll be able to find the show notes there. We include all 4 show notes, all 4 episodes of show notes in one place for you. So scroll down to episode 7. That's the one that we're on, and you'll be able to find it there. But the show notes are really, again, the cornerstone of the 13-minute mentor. It's that extra work that you do ahead of time to get your thoughts clear, because when your thoughts are clear, then you can put it out to the world. And I'm going to just kind of give you the steps, and then Ben, you can go into more detail on why they're so important as our word expert. But we like to start with a hook. We start with the hook because that's what shows up we put the show notes with the podcast as well. If you're listening to a podcast, you'll see the show notes as part of it there. But the hook is there because, again, see with their eyes, when you put something that's catchy, people will want to stop and listen. Then it's the why. Why is it important for you to know this? What is your objective? You want to always stick with that. What is it that you need to know? And then the action steps. How do you get it done? And then finally, ask them to take action. It's that easy. Ben, you want to go into why those are so? Yeah,
I'd love to do that. And before I even dig into the show notes, I also want to remind the listeners, Donna, the beauty of mapping out your promise in this way is that when you actually go to deliver the show, record the show, do the show live, your subconscious mind has had the opportunity to work on the show notes. Mm-hmm. Right. So your delivery becomes that much more effective, that much more powerful, because your subconscious genius, the universe, God, whoever you're in partnership, your intuition gets to help you with the work. So do not neglect this. Like, this is so powerful, right? So the hook is the curiosity, or it's the very relevant fact that helps people pay attention for at least a moment, for long enough so they can go hear why it's important to them. Because remember, everybody's always asking, what's in it for me? So the why is super important. Watch this video, listen to this show, because right? And then for the what they need to know, there might be science, there might be context, there might be what you're teaching, there may be data, story, history, news, whatever that stuff is. Give the context for what you're teaching, right? Don't just teach a thing, give the context. And very often the context involves a story or a case study or something that can support delivering that information, right? Because this is the left brain, right brain stuff. Left brain needs the information, right brain needs the story. That is the integrated learning and transformation right there, right? And don't forget the how. Don't forget some kind of steps or actions for people to take. And it can be as simple as close your eyes and take 3 breaths, right? Mm-hmm. Write down this thing right now, jump up and down 5 times, right? Listen to next week's episode at the very least. I mean, we invite you to, of course, give a little bit more action because that's part of the transformation, but at the very least, tell them to come back and learn more from you, right? And not only to learn from you, but to see what's possible, right? Because your podcast, just like your book, is not a tome of textbook information, but it's value. And you're giving people the opportunity to let go of false beliefs, shift their disempowering beliefs into empowering beliefs, and be able to take action. And not only that, in a process like this, there's a roadmap as well, which is pretty freaking cool.
It's all numbers, formula. Yeah. And for us this time, the how, what you need to do is set aside calendar time to write, to sleep on it, and to edit the draft. We write our show notes, we come back to them later, and we'll then have a deeper understanding of the transformation we want our listeners to have. And so then we get even more focused into that transformation, even tighter, like you say, Ben, because the subconscious has had that opportunity to get into that. And we keep talking about really being someone worth listening to, not to put you down, the listener. It's a reminder to us that we need to be someone worth listening for you. And we do follow this. This is it a case study? I don't know what the right technical term is for it, but we're modeling what we're talking about. Not only can you take from what we're doing and apply it to your own podcast world, but we're modeling exactly it in our world. Does that make sense, Ben? Because we got about 30 seconds to wrap up here.
It makes a lot of sense. Yes, this is a real live play-by-play case study. And yes, you want to deliver transformation. You want to be worth listening to by telling your story, by showing people how they can get from A to B, by showing people that things are possible, right? By following the roadmap and the steps. And again, checking in with us at influencersformula.com for any help you need. So catch us next week for the next range of stuff.